Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of what is really going on behind those big corporate announcements. Today we're diving into Dime Community Bankshares Inc.'s latest report, and let's just say there is a little something for everyone, especially if you like dividends, but also some notes on their debt situation. So today we're unpacking a filing from Dime Community Bankshares Inc. dated the 16th of December 2025. Now, this isn't a sprawling quarterly report, but it is a Form 8K, which typically means something significant and immediate has happened, and that is exactly what we're going to explore. These reports are often like a company's live Twitter feed for major news. The earliest event they're reporting on here is the 16th of December 2025. This is the date that matters most for the information being disclosed. Now, let's look at what is being registered with the SEC. They've got common stock, which is what most people think of when they hear stocks. This is the regular ownership piece of the company. They also have preferred stock. Series are specifically think of preferred stock as a bit of a hybrid between debt and equity, often with fixed dividend payments. They have these 9.000% junior subordinated notes. That is a fancy way of saying they've borrowed money, and this debt is considered junior, meaning if the company runs into serious trouble, the people who hold these notes get paid back after other creditors. But before common stockholders, the 9.00% is the annual interest rate they're paying on this debt, which is a key number to keep an eye on. Alright, let's get to the juicy part, the other events section. This is where the real news is usually buried in an 8K. So here it is. On the 17th of December, just a day after the reporting date, Dime Community Bankshares Inc. announced that their board of directors has decided to pay a quarterly cash dividend. For every common share you own, you'll get a quarter, literally $0.25. This dividend is set to be paid out on the 23rd of January of 2026 to anyone who owns the stock by the 16th of January of that year. Now, what does this tell us? Well, it is a sign of confidence from the company's leadership. Paying dividends means they believe they have enough profit and enough cash on hand to reward their shareholders without jeopardizing the company's operations or future investments. It also signals stability. Companies that are growing rapidly might reinvest all their earnings back into the business. So a dividend suggests a more mature, stable business model for investors. Dividends are a way to generate income from their investments, and a consistent dividend can be a very attractive feature. It's like the company is saying, thanks for owning a piece of us. Here is a little thank you cash. Next up, we have the exhibits. This section is basically a table of contents for any supporting documents. The most important exhibit here is press release number 99.1, dated the 17th of December 2025. This is the actual document that contains the announcement we just discussed about the dividend. It is usually more detailed than the summary in the 8K itself, and gives you the full quote from the company. Then we have Exhibit 104, which is the cover page interactive data file. This is important for regulators and sophisticated investors because it is an XBRL file, which means the data is tagged electronically. It makes it easier for computers to read and analyze the filing. Think of it as making the company's official numbers machine readable. And here we have the signatures. This is the official sign off from the company's authorized representatives. The signature belongs to Avinash Reddy. He is listed as the Senior Executive Vice President, Chief Operating Officer, and Chief Financial Officer. Having the CFO sign off on a filing like this is standard procedure and adds a layer of corporate accountability. Now, let's put on our investor hats and look at the bigger picture here. Dime Community Bankshares Inc. is reporting a dividend. This is generally a positive signal for shareholder return. They are clearly prioritizing returning some capital to investors. This can attract income-focused investors. However, remember those junior subordinated notes we saw earlier. A 9% interest rate on subordinated debt is quite high. This suggests the company might be using a significant amount of leverage or debt to finance its operations. Companies with high debt levels can be more vulnerable to economic downturns. If interest rates rise further, their borrowing costs could increase, impacting profitability. So, while the dividend is good news, it is important to balance that with the cost and risk associated with their debt financing. It is like getting a nice bonus, but knowing you have a hefty loan payment coming up. We need to see how their overall financial health supports these dividend payouts in the long run, especially given that high interest expense on their debt. This filing is pretty straightforward, focusing on a key event. The dividend declaration. It doesn't give us a deep dive into all their financials like a quarterly report would, but that dividend announcement is the story here. It is a sign of financial stability and a commitment to shareholders. However, as always, we need to look under the hood and consider the company's debt structure. A high dividend can be great, but not if it is being funded by increasingly risky debt. So, what is my take? Dime Community Bankshares Inc. is showing signs of maturity and a focus on shareholder value through its dividend. This is encouraging for existing shareholders and could attract new ones looking for income. The risk, however, lies in that substantial subordinated debt. They need to manage this debt carefully, ensuring that the interest payments don't outweigh the benefits of the dividend. Their overall strategy seems to be one of returning value while managing growth, but the execution on that debt will be key. Alright? That is our quick decode of this Dime Community Bankshares Inc. filing. What is your take on this dividend announcement and the company's financial strategy? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description, for even more insights and discussions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.